I am Brian Lawlor, and I am a TriHealth patient. Yeah, I had, it was 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago, and I had my regular annual physical. I've been doing it every year, the executive physical. And so went in and met with Dr. Harper and Maria and went through the normal morning of tests and on the treadmill and chest x-ray and various scans and blood work and things like that, as we've done every other year. And then, in the afternoon, sat down and started going through all the results. And as the results were coming in, we were kind of talking about each thing. And then at one point, Dr. Harper was looking on her laptop, and I could see her looking a little differently, and kind of closed down the laptop and said, well, there's something that I was not there a year ago in your lung scan, and I don't love the way it looks, so we'll just have to see what that was. And so she said, if it's okay with you, I want to reach out and make an appointment for you to go see one of our top lung doctors. And so my executive physical was on a Monday. She was able to get me an appointment with Dr. Adams on Thursday, and he was up at Bethesda, so just 3 days later. And I went in to see him, and he pulled it up, and he said, yeah, I don't like the way this thing looks, and I think there's a decent chance you have lung cancer. And I said, lung cancer? Like, I was on the treadmill of the gym kicking butt this morning. There's no way I have lung cancer. I feel great. I don't have any symptoms or anything. And he said, well, maybe, there's something there. And the only way we figure out what it is we actually have to go in and take it out. And so kind of explained to me the process by which they would go in and take it out. And made an appointment for the following Friday. They said, well, we'll go in and we'll take it out and we'll test it. And if it's nothing, it'll be 45 minutes. And if it's something, we'll have to make some decisions in real time. And he told me maybe what some of those options would be. But he said, we won't know until we get in there. So surgery was at 7:30 in the morning, and got put to sleep. And I woke up, and the nurse in recovery said, how you feeling? And I said, what time is it? She looked at her watch. She said, it's 11:45. I went. And obviously, in that moment, I immediately knew there was an issue. And sure enough, and after coming through recovery and then meeting with Dr. Adams, they had tested it and found out that I had stage 1 lung cancer. And he shared with me that in the moment, based on where it was at and everything, they made the decision to take out the top lobe. And he shared with me at that point they had taken lymph nodes from a bunch of places, and they were going to test them and sort of see if it had been contained in that lobe or if it had spread anymore, and that would ultimately determine if I needed chemo or radiation or anything like that. But within a couple of days, all the tests came back and said, no, we think we got it all. And so met with him a couple of times and went through relatively quick recovery. Yeah, look, the first thing I would just say is this saved my life. There are no symptoms for stage 1 lung cancer, as I now know. And so when it was all said and done, I asked Dr. Adams, when would I have known I had a problem? And he said, in a year from now, you would have gotten a bad cough. You would have went to the doctor. He would have sent you to me, and I would have given you a 15% survival rate beyond 5 years. And I never would have found stage 1 lung cancer. There's no symptoms for stage 1 lung cancer. And so, had I not had an executive physical, I would not have had a chest x-ray. A chest x-ray is not part of any regular physical. And so the benefits of all of the different tests and the depth by which they do everything, found something that otherwise I would have not known for a year I had a problem. And once I knew it, it would have been maybe too late. It gives me great peace of mind to know that I'm going to have a really deep, extensive, checkup and talk about everything. The resources available from, a dietitian to somebody to talk about strength and look at my skeletal mass, dermatology. I mean, it is so thorough. And I leave there every year. Of course, there's always a little couple things I gotta not eat or not do, but at the end of the day, I leave and I feel great because I feel like I really have a good understanding of where I'm at with my health and what I need to do to continue to live a healthy lifestyle. What blew me away was, I had my executive physical on Monday, found out that I had an issue on Monday. On Thursday, I was in front of the top lung doctor at TriHealth. And how easy it was that he was able to see the scans, look at all the reports, and quickly identify something. And a week later, the cancer was out of me. I mean, the process was so amazingly fast and so streamlined.